Hey, g'day everybody. I'm a bit behind on my latest episode, which was going to involve the bridge that is being built behind you, but I thought I'm going to do a little bit of something before I get to that. I'm going to do a bit of experimentation around structure support, because my understanding coming from Arc over to Atlas was that the foundation support should have been almost infinite, but I haven't actually been finding that's the case. So I'm going to do a little bit of experimentation, and we're going to see exactly what foundation support is like in Atlas. Alright, just because I needed to restock the coal on the mine, I get to jump off again. God, that's fun. Here we are. We're going to build something over here. It's probably not going to be anything that I will keep. Grab that. Oh, it's just a common one. That's for I2. But yes, every now and then stuff will just fall off my bridge for absolutely no apparent reason. Especially if I remove some of the foundation support in between. And I did actually start building underwater and trying various different methods for actually removing the pillars, and it just did not work. And it started to really frustrate me. Now, if it was like Arc, I would expect that the foundation support should have actually been just about infinite. But in this particular case, it was not. We get a roof down to the ground. We pick that up. And then we start building the ceilings. So the common thing with Atlas is it actually has one more extension than what you actually have in Arc. Arc allows you to build 2 out from your foundation support, where Atlas allows you to go 3. And then, this is going to prove me wrong. I do this, I should be able to build 3 more, but that's not what I was seeing on my bridge. And yeah, it stopped. Alright, so now you can see it's only 2 out. What I've actually found is, from a single foundation support, you can give it extra foundation support, and that actually helps. But it will only allow you to go 5 spaces from the original foundation support. It's really weird. So I've actually provided it with a little bit of extra structure, but then that structure stopped. And I've run out of foundations here, so I should probably go and get some more. But I could fudge it. So by building a ceiling here, and then providing pillar into the ground, that in theory provides foundation support. Well, it does provide foundation support. It is actually a thing. Okay, so that provides the extra foundation support. But if what I've seen is true, it provides no extra foundation support at all when you're looking at a long extension like this. So that ceiling piece there is 5 pieces away from the original foundation support that is actually attached to the ceiling. And that becomes this foundation of how you actually do things in Atlas. So originally you can do 3. You provide it with a little bit of extra foundation support. So if you're building like a big barn or a big shed or a giant castle, you can get at most 5 spaces away. Now, if you wanted to build a really, really big open space, you would basically work outwards for another 5 spaces, build a wall up and come back across. And you could then have a ceiling which is 10. Well, it's actually 5 plus 1, so you could have a ceiling of 12 spaces across, as long as you had the support on the other side to accommodate that. But that appears to be what Atlas is doing with their foundation support. It's a little bit more sophisticated than what was going on in Arc. So if I was to do the same bridge building in Arc, this foundation support across the bottom would support every single ceiling piece that you put across the top. And so I should actually be able to build another 2 in Arc out beyond that. And if Atlas had the same thing, I should be able to build another 3 beyond that. But they're not allowing that. And so yes, it's a little bit more sophisticated. But to recap, off a single foundation piece, if you had no more support, and we can actually show this, you'll get 3. If you provide it with a little bit of extra foundation support, you can get at most 5 away from your original foundation. Okay, so, oh, that's actually got 3 there. It's a little bit different. Should actually start seeing it demolish but it's not going to do it. Oh, very interesting. So it's a little bit buggy in that regard. But I mean, I still don't have the ability to do anything, right? I've lost my foundation support all the way back to the start. So that means they've still got the same bugs that Ark does as well. And I had this before, like if you actually demolish things in Ark, but it's still attached to your original foundation, everything kind of just stays up. But if you remove something, it just blows up in your face. Just like that. And yeah, it's back to its original foundation, 3 away from it. So yeah, 3 away from your original foundation, give it a bit of extra foundation support, and you can go out 5 from your original, but then you're stuck with what you've got. Alright, and that appears to be how foundation support works in Atlas. It's not really how I anticipated it working. I did read in the history that basically Atlas had changed a little bit about how it works, and so you can't do unrealistic builds where you just build a bridge infinitely into nowhere like you can in Ark. And you know, it is what it is, and I don't mind. I'm going to keep building my bridge over here. I am going to be building foundation supports all the way to the ground. It's just that the pillars are too thin. So I'm actually building my own pillars out of a box formation out of walls to give it a little bit of accentuation rather than these tiny little string pillars. Anyway, hopefully this has been useful to you, and I'll catch you in the next one. Hopefully where you get to see my new and improved base, and I then start buying into better ships and go and do something a little bit more interesting. Alright, catch you later.